Hello guys, this video today is going to be for freshmen, specifically kind of an introduction to high school. So if you're in the, we changed the name of the class, so it'll take me a minute to figure out, I think, but if you're in the Intro to Physics with Earth Space Science and you're not a freshman, I do think this video might still be useful, but it's definitely directed towards the freshmen. There's an assignment associated with this that shouldn't take too long. It's a Google form, so if you feel like you already know how to calculate GPA and stuff, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'm going to go through and discuss kind of just some basic welcome to high school things I think are important that you need to know. So first of all, what is the purpose of high school? Now, this is according to me, right? So I can't tell you for sure this is what people were thinking when they created high school in the first place, but we do have a mission statement here at Franklin Simpson High School. And the mission statement of Franklin Simpson High School is to prepare the mission, or I should say the mission statement is to empower students to be college and or career ready. That's ultimately the goal of our high school, to prepare you for what you want to do after high school when you go into the quote unquote real world, right? What are you going to do? Our goal is to prepare you so that no matter what you want to do, you feel like you're capable of doing them. Now, I think there are a couple other purposes of high school. I think an important one is helping students become independent and lifelong learners. You will always be learning stuff. The question is, what are you going to be learning? Nobody just stops learning. Even if you think, I don't like school, I don't whatever, like whatever you do, you are going to be learning about that. That's just the way the human brain works. We are built, our brains are built to learn things. And no matter what you do, you're always going to be learning. And hopefully with the right tools, you can be an effective learner and you can learn things that will help you. And then I think also, this is a bit philosophical, but I think one of our fundamental reasons for having a school, you can see here, is to instill future citizens with the fundamental historical, civic, scientific, cultural, and mathematical knowledge in order to, that you need in order to be an informed and capable member of our community, state, and nation. That's a big goal, right? The big idea, but it's important that you have the basic knowledge. You can participate in questions that are going to come up throughout our lives, right? As we talk about, because we're not going to stop talking about it, as we talk about global warming, you hopefully have some basic scientific and mathematical knowledge so that you can be informed and have a discussion about that. That's one example. When we talk about voting, right, and you want to vote for people, hopefully you do that. It's part of our civic duty and responsibility is to vote, but be an informed voter, right? You need to know, what are the issues? What do you think about the issues? And in order to be able to think about those properly, you need the tools to do that. You need literacy. You need to understand the basic ideas of history, right? What is our city leaders, what are they responsible for? How do I keep them accountable? Those sort of things. And so that's on the community level, the state level, and a national level. And I would say even probably to a global level. So again, that's a big idea, but a very important one, right? We need to have a basic foundational knowledge through which we can discuss issues. Here's a quote from one of my favorite educators, John Dewey. The quote is, "Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself." I love school. It's probably no coincidence that I became a teacher because I do love school and I do love to learn. And I hope that you will at least be open to the idea of learning because again, you will always learn. It's just, what are you going to be learning is the big question. Okay, so what's different about high school compared to middle school? Well, first of all, you have a shift in focus, right? So in middle school, it's kind of we learn together. And I think that the shift in high school is we're going to help you learn independently. You're learning how to learn. Now, that is especially important considering that we are starting virtually right now, that you are able to self-regulate, right? Because that's what happens when you leave high school, right? If you go to college, you are going to have even more freedom than you have in high school. You are going to be completely, on your own making decisions. And a lot of people, right? A lot of people fail. My phone's ringing, but I'm not going to answer it. Sorry. A lot of people fail those first year of college and have to drop out because they don't know how to self-regulate. They don't know how to control what they're going to do. Outside in the workforce, a lot of people end up losing a job because they don't know how to regulate themselves. They get in trouble because they didn't show up on time, or they get in trouble because they didn't do a good enough job, right? So there's all these different aspects that you need to become independent for. And once you're independent, can you still regulate and learn in that state? You do have more freedom in high school. Now, obviously, right now you're at home, so it's very different. But when you get here, right, you have more freedom. You're able to walk around to different places. You have 5 minutes between class that you can go to different locations and do different things, right? So you have more time to do those sort of things. The big difference here, I think, that I really want to emphasize in this presentation is grades matter. Grades are important. I know you've had grades in the past, but they honestly didn't matter a whole lot. You might have gotten in trouble with your parents or something, but in terms of your future progress and opportunities, your grades up to this point have not mattered, but that does change in high school. I'm going to talk about what's called a GPA. You'll probably hear this term quite a bit. A GPA just stands for grade point average, and it's sort of a numerical representation of your grades. It's used by a lot of colleges and universities when accepting students. So I'm going to focus on that in just a little bit. The idea is pretty simple. You know that you had in your past letter grades, A, B, C, D, and F. Every letter grade corresponds to points, right? So an A is worth 4 points, a B worth 3 points, C is 2 points, D is worth 1 point, and F is 0 points. So when you get a grade, there's two different things. There's your new letter grade, and there's what's called numerical grade. So if you get a B, that might be an 80. That might be an 89, it might be an 87, 84.6, whatever. Any numerical grade between 80 points and 89 points, that's a B. And so when we calculate your grade point average, that B will give you 3 points. So something that's important to know is that it doesn't matter how good or bad that specific letter is, right? So if you have a 92, that's still worth 4 points, grade points. If you have a 99, it's still worth 4 grade points, even though those are two different grades. You still get the same 4 points for that letter. So when you calculate your GPA, you just simply take all of your classes, turn those numerical grades, probably you'll see them as letter grades, take those letter grades and turn them into grade points and take the average of those. So for example, let's say we have Benjamin here. You see here he got an 83 in science, 91 in math, 74 in English, 95 in band, 88 in social studies, and 92 in ag. So he's going to take each of those numbers, right, turn them into a grade point, right, so that a B is 3 and so on, like we said before. So then you add up all those grade points together, and you get a total of 20 points. So he received, from his grades, he received a total of 20 points for this trimester. So then to figure out what his GPA is, remember the A stands for average, we have to average it. So take the total number of points and divide by the number of classes. In this case, 20 points divided by 6 classes is going to give him a GPA of 3.3, which is a very good GPA. As you go through school, your GPAs, you'll have what's called a cumulative GPA. It continues to add up. Cumulative means you just keep adding on. And so you're going to keep adding these these grade point averages together to find your new GPA. So for example, we know that Ben got a 3.3 in his first trimester, maybe second trimester he didn't do as well, got a 2.7. And then his third trimester, maybe he did better, got a 3.4. Well, his cumulative GPA for his freshman year, you just add those up, 3.3 plus 2.7 plus 3.4, divide by 3, and you get 3.1. That would be his cumulative GPA for his freshman year. A pretty good GPA, so congratulations to Ben there. This will continue to change over time. So every year, right, his GPA will get recalculated every time he takes new classes. And so it could change. If he continues to do well, it's going to continue to go up. Maybe he'll get up to a 3.7. That would be a really good GPA. But if he slacks off, it's going to go the other way, right? And so he's going to end up with maybe like he might start sliding down into 2s and 1s if he did really bad. This is important because right now, the grades you are making this trimester, the grades you are making this year, will have an effect on how colleges potentially view you 4 years in the future. That may not seem fair, but that's how it goes. And I'm going to talk about college in a second, why you might be interested in college at all, but my perspective is you should be prepared for college at least if you want to, and I just don't want anybody to not have that option. So why might I want to go to college? First of all, you might have to, depending on what you want to do. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to have to go to college. You're going to be a nurse, you're going to have to go to, you want to be an accountant, you're going to have to go to college. Many professions require completion of a college degree. If you're not familiar, typically, if you're talking about a 4-year, we're talking about 4-year degrees here, those are, it's called a bachelor's degree. So many jobs will require you to have a bachelor's degree. Obviously, not all of them, but many do. Money. According to College Board, and you can click on this link down here and see the statistics for yourself, but college graduates earn an average of $24,900 per year more than just high school graduates. So I know there's a lot of stories out there about people who graduated college and they didn't get a job or they couldn't get a good paying job. But again, those are the outliers. The average, on average, they do get paid more. They do have better incomes. And finally, I think most importantly, actually, college is a unique experience. I loved going to college. It was a very, I didn't go very far, right? I went to Western Kentucky University, but I was able to meet people from all around the world, right? You're going to grow in many ways by going to college. First of all, you learn a lot about yourself by living on your own and having responsibilities, school responsibilities to keep up with. You're also going to get a chance to meet other people, right, from other countries. I had a very, very good friend from Ghana that, you know, we hung out with a lot, and he was able to, you know, really introduce me to a lot of new ideas that that I hadn't experienced here in America. And so it's just a really cool, unique experience that'll help you grow in many ways. Now, again, I know that you may not want to go to college, and that's perfectly fine. There are many people who are very successful without going to a traditional 4-year degree. My father has been successful in many ways. He did, I think, 2 years of a tech school, and he has had a very fulfilling and happy life, right? So I don't push college and say it's the only way. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want somebody to go into their freshman year and say, I don't want to, you know, I know I'm not going to go to college, not take school seriously, end up with a very poor GPA, and then halfway through decide, actually, you know, I kind of do think nursing would be cool. I kind of like helping people and I want to be a nurse. And then they can't get their GPA up high enough to get accepted because of the choices they made as a freshman. So I'm really wanting to emphasize once again that the choices you're making right now will affect your future, at least the opportunity. So if you don't think you want to go to college now, it's still a good idea to try your best in school, because that might change in the future. You might learn about a job that you didn't know about before, and you just think this is such a cool job, and then not be able to get that job because you can't make the grades. Obviously, college is expensive. So how do I pay for college? There are scholarships available, right? There are tons of scholarships out there for everything. I know when I say scholarships, a lot of people think like sports, and there are definitely sports scholarships. There are so many beyond that too. There are many academic scholarships, right? I was able to go to college for free because I did well in high school. I had good grades. I did well on the ACT, and I was able to go to college for free, right? So there's many academic scholarships available as well. There are also scholarships for people who you want to go into agriculture. There are tons of scholarships for people who want to go into agriculture. There are scholarships specifically for people who want to be teachers. There are scholarships for people who want to, you know, even do like chess club, right? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can get scholarships for. I did put your Miss Bills is your guidance counselor. So it's a little early probably to look into scholarships too much now. Right now, you just want to make sure you get the high school part down. But if you do have questions, you can email her here. And actually, you can even click, as long as you're logged into Google, you can actually just click right on the address, and it will pull up an email already that you can send. The other big one is Keys Money, which I will show you this real fast. Keys is a program here in Kentucky that gives you money based on two things, for the most part, your GPA and the ACT scores. So you can see here, and this is for each, I believe it's for each year. So you can rack up. So you can see here, these are the dollar amounts that you get for every for your GPA. And again, I believe this is calculated per year, so it can add up over 4 years. You can end up getting quite a bit of money from here. You also have this bonus from the ACT. And again, this is per year that corresponds to it. So again, there are many different ways that you can get scholarships, but there's one that you don't even really have to apply for. You're automatically part of it. So by getting good grades this year, you are getting money in the future, which is if you go to college at least. Finally, talk about the ACT. The ACT is just a standardized test. It's composed of 4 parts. It's a long test. It takes about 4 hours to at least take. It's not 4 hours of just testing, but about 4 hours to take. And every one of you will take, every student at FSHS takes the ACT as a junior, and you're able to sign up to take the ACT other times if you'd like. You can take it as a freshman, you can take it as a sophomore, and start getting practice. There are many opportunities here to practice for the ACT, both in your core classes, and especially there's a time of day in your schedule called academic time. At least when we're together, that is usually used for ACT preparation. And again, it's pretty important. I want to show you real fast if you wanted to go to WKU, which again, I'm picking that because I'm just biased and that's the one that I know. But I looked this up earlier, and I'll zoom in here so you can see it. How do you get into WKU? First of all, you have to have at least a 2.0 high school GPA. Don't worry about weighted and unweighted stuff. A 2.0 GPA, all right? Again, that's something to shoot for. If you have less than that, we talked about how to calculate that, you will not be admitted at Western Kentucky University. I'm not speaking for other universities, but at least at WK you won't be admitted. Now you also look at your ACT here. So it took me a little while to figure this out. I'm not going to go into details. It's not that hard, but basically they add your ACT score. So I think I calculated earlier, and you have to have at minimum, even if you had a 4.0 GPA, so that means you got all A's all throughout high school in every one of your classes, you would still have to have at least a 15, I believe, to make to get through the to be admissible to WKU. Which again, it may be actually lower than that. Sorry, I forgot the calculation. But point is, you do have to take the ACT, and it's a combination of both. So getting a good GPA, doing well in the ACT will get you accepted, and also will make you eligible for different scholarships. All right, that's pretty much what I want to share with you. If you have questions, please ask. There is an assignment, it's pretty short, that you can find on Google Classroom. It's connected to this. It's just a Google form. Make sure you're signed into your Google account. It will automatically take that. And really, I set this up so that you have to put in the correct answer. So if you submit this, and you're able to submit this sheet, that means you got the correct answers and you got 100 on the assignment, 100% on the assignment, okay? It shouldn't take very long, but if you have any problems, please call. I will tell you that it does not save your answer. So if I start working on this and then I close this window, so if I start typing my answers and I close my window, it will not save my answers. So you just want to get it done in one go. This is pretty short though, it shouldn't take very long. Should only take hopefully 10 minutes or so, all right? So if you have any questions, please let me know. You can ask anytime. You can email me, jonathan.king@simpson.kyschools.us. Have a good day, and welcome to high school.